Today we're going to look at how we plot coordinates on a set of axes, so on the Cartesian plane, or we also sometimes call this a number plane. And then we're also going to look at summarizing that diagram into a table and then going back the other way. So in this question we've been given a bunch of coordinates. Remember that when you are dealing with coordinates, the first one that goes first is the x and then the y, just like x goes first in the alphabet. And you have y to the sky when you're labeling and x on the ground. Now when we do coordinates, we have to go across before we go up. So here you can see you've got a -2 and a -1. I'm going to go and just put some little, what are called tick marks. Now you should be measuring these with a ruler, yeah, but because I don't have a ruler on here, I'm just going to put them pretty close to where they should be. So generally in your book, I'd probably make these like a centimetre apart or half a centimetre apart. So the first point we have is -2, -1. Always start at the origin, start in the middle of your cross. Go -2 to the left, so it's always walking, so 2 across. And now the second number is a -1. Now the negative means to go down. So we're going left, then we're going down 1. So left 2, down 1. So I'm going to put a point there. That's our first point. I'm then going to tick that. Now this one we're going to go left to -1, which is here. But then the second number you'll see is a 0, which means we actually don't go up or down. There's just nothing. We just basically stay where we are. So I'll put a point there. That's this next one done. Next one we've got a 0. Now remember we always start in the middle here. Now because the 0 is the first number, it means we don't actually go left and right. We just stay where we are. The second number tells us, because it's a positive, to go up. So we go stay in the middle and then we go up 1. That's done. Next one is 1, 2. We have to go to the right one because it's positive and we have to go up 2. So 1 across, 2 up. And the last one is 2, 3. So we have to go across 2, then up 3. So across 2 and 1, 2, 3 up to there. Now what you'll probably notice with these points is they actually sit on a straight line. I'm going to draw a straight line through these points, pretty straight, depending on how you've drawn them. I'll do it from there, about there. And you might find that if you've ruled this up really nice and accurately, it'll be a little bit more right through all those points. But this is actually a straight line. So these points all sit on a straight line and they can be represented by a rule, which we'll do a little bit later on. So that's the first part, plotting the points. The next part of the question was rule a straight line passing through all the points. We've actually done that already. The last part is summarize the set of points into a table of values. Now a table of values is all about having your x and your y values like this in a table. Now remember that x is always the first one and then y. So if we look at the first pair of coordinates, see the first pair of coordinates looks like that. If we actually take these coordinates and put them into the table, you've got your first number goes up the top where x is, your second number goes down the bottom where y is. So I'm going to put -2 and then -1, and I've done that point. The next point we had was -1, 0, the next coordinate. So it will be -1 because that's the x. Remember that the x is always first, and then the 0 is the y. So I've done that one. Next one was 0, 1. So 0 is the x, it's the first number, 1 is second. Then we had 1, 2, 1, 2, and the last one was 2, 3. So I'll put that in the table like that. So this is a table of values that's actually represented by the graph here and the straight line that goes through those points on your graph as well. Now, if we wanted to go back the other way, you might actually be given a table, then asked to plot the points and then rule a straight line. So the first question here with this example is list the coordinates of the points given in the table below. Remember that we always write our coordinates as x, y. So we're going to read this as this number and then this number. So we've got the first number is -2, -3. So that's going to be one of my coordinates. The next one, we've got -1, -1. So just separate these with a comma. So that's that one. The next one, 0 and then 1. So I'm basically just reading down. These are like a little pair. So that's the 0, 1. Then I've got 1 and 3 and I've got 2 and 5. So these are all my coordinates here. I'm going to put a red box around them because they are important. So they're the things we're going to actually sketch on our diagram. So the next thing we're going to do, we've done part A, which was all of our coordinates. Part B is to plot these points on a number plane. Remember, Y to the sky, X on the ground, and then we're going to put some little marks in again. So remember, rule these with your ruler. You don't want to do them freehand like I am because it doesn't look as good, it won't be as accurate. And we're going to plot the points. So remember, first one, -2, always start in the middle. So -2 and then down 3. 1, 2, 3 will be there. -1, so go left 1, and then the second number is -1, so go down 1. We've got 0, 1. 0 means no going left and right, but the 1 means we have to go up. So that is there. 1, 3, we go across 1 and then up 1, 2, 3. And the last one is 2, 5. 1, 2, we go across and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up about there. So we've plotted our points on a number line, so that's part B of this question. Part C of the question is actually for us to draw a straight line through those points. Now this doesn't always happen, when you're doing this, but it just so happens that the rules we're looking at, let's do that again from here, do actually have a nice straight line when you plot the points. So I'm just going to move that over a little bit because that should be probably over a little bit there. So that is how we go from a table to coordinates and then drawing a nice straight line through all the points. So make sure you can go both ways, going from a table to a graph, and also going from a graph or going from coordinates, a graph, and then into a table.